am Bridget Lake, President of the Oviedo Winter Springs Regional Chamber of Commerce, and we are here with Pernell Bush, running for County Commission District 5, serving Seminole County. Our premier virtual Eastside Regional Hob Nob is presented by Lucas Land Group, an Oviedo-based family-run business with interests throughout Central Florida. Our sponsors, Duke Energy and UCF, our radio sponsor, News 96.5 WDBO, and our website sponsor, Palm Tree Tech Center. Now, before we get into our conversation, let's watch a couple commercials from our sponsors, Duke Energy and UCF.
Across Florida, we're listening to customers like you, and we're working hard to build the brighter energy future you and your family deserve. That's why we're making smart investments in the grid to improve reliability and prevent outages, to use more clean, renewable energy like solar, and to give you better control over your energy use today and in the years ahead. We're Duke Energy, and we're building a smarter energy future for you.
We will teach you in a room. We will teach you now on Zoom. We will teach you in a house. We will teach you with a mouse. We will teach you here or there. We will teach you because we care, and we do care about you.
And you have a world ahead of you of great things. And we will get through this part, and that is to get you to graduation.
And remember, Knights will always charge on.
And now we are back with Pernell Bush, running for County Commission District 5, serving Seminole County. He is one of our candidates at the Eastside Regional Hob Nob. How are you doing today, Pernell?
I'm doing wonderful today, Bridget. Just want to say thank you for having me. This is beautiful, and I love what you guys are doing over there.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that, and I appreciate you taking the time out today to meet with us. Now, before we get into anything or any of the questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little bit about myself. Okay, you know, born and raised right here in Seminole County in the city of Sanford, the historic Goldsboro community, where I'm a fourth generation descendant of Goldsboro. Grew up in a wooden house that my great grandfather helped build. So, you know, for myself, I can say that I didn't have a traditional childhood. I am a child that was born, I was born out of wedlock. What I mean by that is that my father had me outside of his marriage with my mother. So I tell people from conception, my life was meant to have an interesting journey. For myself, growing up in the Goldsboro community, I witnessed a lot of different perils, I would say. Even just personally in my own life, my mother went to prison when I was in third grade. My biological mother went to prison when I was in third grade. And when she went to prison, she did just a year and a day. But that made me, I had to transition over to live with my godparents, which was a great thing for me when I got older. When I was a child, it was still a challenge because although in my home, we didn't have lights and water for 2 years, literally in the little wooden house that me, my mother, and my older brother at the time, for 2 years, we didn't have any lights and water, and just trying to really survive day by day. And then once my mother was sentenced to her time in prison, moved my godparents, and they had a stable household, I just wasn't prepared for that type of transition. So I did have a challenging behavior, I should say, throughout my youth. So going from there, I grew up right there, still just across the track, still in Goldsboro, Academy Manor, in that neighborhood there. But that's where I met a lot of my lifelong childhood friends. That's where I got involved in playing sports and ended up going to Lake Mary High School, which was a culture shock for me. I will tell you that. Coming from the community I came from and then going to Lake Mary, even though it's just 5 miles the other way, it was definitely a culture shock. So just going through that experience and learning how to really adjust and be conditioned to deal with different communities and demographics. I was an outstanding football player, but however, once again, I had a lot of behavior issues that I didn't know how to manage. I didn't know how to regulate my emotions when I was younger. So although I was an outstanding football player at Lake Mary High School, I had a lot of potential. I did not get the opportunity to play college football because my senior year in high school, I was arrested 3 times, to just be transparent there. I lost out on football scholarships. And then also I had a very, very unimpressive GPA. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. So although I lost out on an opportunity to go play college ball, I did have people always vouching for me that believed in my ability when I didn't believe in myself. And to this day, I go back and thank those individuals. But however, me not going to be able to play college ball allowed me to find a new path. And I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. And I love everything about being a Marine. The Marine Corps, when I tell people one thing the Marine Corps taught me was truly how to go and capture knowledge and utilize that knowledge to make sure that you're prepared for any mission that life may present before you. So that United States Marine Corps honor, courage, commitment is in the core of me, with the core of me. I utilize that still to this day, even with my other endeavors. After I served as a 0311 infantry rifleman, did 2 combat tours in Iraq. Then also, right before I was EAS in the active service, I went over to Haiti after the major earthquake happened there and did humanitarian work with my unit. We were tasked with the task of pulling bodies from the rubble and then also protecting the vulnerable population. However, I had a deeper passion of returning home because I had 4 younger siblings. I have 13 brothers and sisters. Let's put it out there. Total. However, but I had 4 younger siblings that I wanted to come back and assist in their upraising, to make sure that they understood that we have options in this world. So I returned home, and that was my primary reason for coming home. But also, once I got home and I was assisting with my younger siblings, I just seen there was things in my community that I wanted to also help either improve or uplift others who may have challenging issues in their lives. So I started doing that, doing a lot of volunteer work. Then I ended up enrolling at Valencia College, from Valencia College, and enrolled at University of Central Florida to receive both my undergraduate and my master's degree in social work. From there, that's where now I'm a practicing clinician. I have a private practice based in Oviedo for the past 2 years, providing clinical counseling for individuals, couples, and families. So, you know, that's just a little background about myself.
Wow, that's a lot of information, and thank you for that. It looks like you've been through a lot in your life, and it's interesting because your bio says that you received a Veteran of Influence Award from the OBJ. So going through all of what you've gone through, now being a Veteran of Influence, can you tell us about that recognition?
You know, that recognition was I appreciate that very much. Honestly, being a Veteran of Influence, one thing that when I returned home, that first year transition wasn't the prettiest. So I'll be quite transparent there. You know, when you're coming home, you think you're going to be the same individual that you were when you left. However, when I got home, I realized I wasn't. So I had to really find my own, my own niche, just to really get a good footing out here as a civilian. And what I really found is like, you know what? One thing about being a veteran, we always need a mission. So I remember sitting down, I wrote a mission out for myself. I said, I, Pernell Bush, my mission is to edify, strengthen, and empower all those I encounter. So from that, I just started really just getting very, very involved in the community, you know, joining in boards, becoming part of organizations such as the Mission Continues, where other veterans there, becoming veteran mentors to help other veterans transition out. So to really become an individual in the community that could be a staple of what a healthy, functional veteran look like. And, you know, reason I say that, because oftentimes they talk about the challenges that we face, but they forget the individual, although we do face challenges, there are those of us who overcome it, and we also pull our brothers and sisters along with us.
Absolutely. And when you're talking about getting involved in the community and being on board, you serve on the medical committee of the Seminole County Opioid Council. What
Yes.
steps would you take as a commissioner to further the effort to address the opioid crisis that we're dealing with?
Definitely. So to address the opioid council crisis that we're dealing with here in Seminole County, one thing that I want to do is really target the adolescents, early adolescents and later adolescents, because oftentimes it's just the miseducation that they may receive, or the education they don't receive at all. So we want to really have them understand what exactly are opioids and what are the dangers of utilizing opioids. Because oftentimes when our youth and our adolescents have this information, you know, they are very impactful in disseminating that information. And then also they're very impactful of reaching their family members who may also have opioids challenges. So that's one thing that I will definitely do, you know, utilize the strength and the tenacity of the youth, of the adolescents here in Seminole County.
Now, let me ask you something. What is the most significant lesson that you'd want to teach your children from all of your experiences?
You know, the most significant lesson I think I want my children to take away is that perseverance. You know, it's okay. You may have some setbacks, you may have some challenges, but your perseverance and your tenacity is something that's going to take you far. Like I said, I have had challenges where some of the challenges I created myself before because of the decisions that I made as an individual without the emotional regulations that I should have, that I have now. However, I did not let those become my final identity. So how you persevere and not allow anyone to write your story for you. You continue to create the story that you want for yourself.
And it sounds like you have such an interesting history. What made you want to run for county commission?
You know, my lived experience as a human being is one thing. You know, being a black male here in America, being from someone that grew up in below the poverty line. So my lived experience, just seeing different things that I was exposed to as a young person and as an adult. Then also me being a social worker. You know, my educational training and background, being a social worker, and I love the profession of social work. You know, for me, I tell those that don't know much about us, we're like the Swiss Army knives of professions. I feel as if the education that we receive, the training that we receive, we're equipped to work with the community members. And you know, one of the biggest things that I love about social work, they say meet people where they are. So as a representative, I want to go in each community and meet individuals where they are to ensure that we're creating solutions that's going to actually impact and empower those communities. That's one thing that I would want to do as a representative, and that's one thing I would stand strong on as a representative.
Well, thank you so much. Before we wrap this up, is there anything else that you would like to add?
You know what, definitely, please, I'll encourage you all to go out and look up my bio at www.pushwithbush.org. And please don't feel afraid to reach out. Honestly, I'm here to look to earn your vote. That's the biggest thing here. You know, I will tell you to vote for me, but at the end of the day, I would like to earn it. And because you believe I'll be the best representation here for Seminole County as a county commissioner. So outside of that, Bridget, I just want to tell you I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all. I appreciate this opportunity just to really be a part and really come to Oviedo Winter Springs Chamber of Commerce eventually once the world opens back up. Just thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. That is Pernell Bush. He's running for County Commission District 5. He is one of our candidates at the Eastside Regional Hob Nob. Come check out the virtual Eastside Regional Hob Nob on June 30th at 5:30. And also check out esrhobnob.com for our one-on-one interviews and so much more about our candidates. Thank you so much, Pernell. It's great seeing you.
No, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you.